Hi, I'm Josh Bell with the Miami Marlins. I wear NeuroGuard to help with strength and coordination when I'm in the weight room and help with balance when I'm on the baseball field.
One of the most comfortable, reduces concussion, increases performance. You can't get a mouthpiece like that on the market.
Not only is it a great product, it's super easy to use. I recommend it for any player at any age or any level. Thank you guys so much, and go check out NeuroGuard Plus.
NeuroGuard mouthpiece makes it easy to breathe while playing basketball. The unique design is not as bulky as any other mouthpiece and makes you feel safe in concussions.
NeuroGuard. They control my breathing while I'm riding. It stops me getting concussions while I wreck. It's very easy to use, so go pick one up today.
I'm still doing stunts. In the concussions I've got, and I feel much safer with that. I'm doing, like I said, I'm doing a whole lot better in the gym. So NeuroGuard Plus, once this one wears out, you've got a customer for life, because I'm telling you people, NeuroGuard Plus is the way to go, and me, Mark Ash, says so.
Parents, kids, coaches, NeuroGuard. It's the future. Stay tuned.
Hey, I mean, that was a good point.
I think we might start seeing some go back.
Lights are bright on Friday night.
Football.
Fall in
Hello,
small
everybody. Terry
Texas
McGregor
town.
here. Sideline to sideline.
People
the
train
area
like
around.
moths to
Well, for
flame,
those
and
that
there
are
ain't
like me, round
nobody
two of the playoffs.
around.
I never get the names because I feel like at some point they kind of changed up the names.
Yeah, it used to be by district, area, regional, and then regional finals,
Yeah.
semifinals, state championship, right?
And then
semifinals, then state championship.
And now
But
they do
then go monkeying
quarterfinals.
with it, and then
Whoa. How you doing, man?
good, doing great, man.
You had an interesting playoff trip. You went to see Chapel Hill and Huffman Hargrave, and you went camping.
Yeah, a little solitude and football. What's better
solitude.
than that, right?
So what'd you do? Sit there by the fire with all the guys you met off all those websites you always tell me
No
about?
guys,
Oh.
no websites. But there was fire. There was football.
No steak.
There was steak.
Beer.
There was boudin. Beer. Lots of beer. There was some rain.
We were talking about it, man. When you get our age, solitude. That just, and it's not even like a knock on people you're around all the time. It's just, man, just give me. I was telling you this.
My wife asked me, like, what do you want for your birthday? I was like, I just want everybody to leave me the hell alone for one day. Just leave me alone. Let me sit here. Don't need anything. Don't talk to me. I mean, tell me you love me or something, but other than that, just I don't know, disappear.
Just wow. Okay, I didn't mean it that way.
Oh, I thought this was a party. No.
But no, I was telling you, man, when I had COVID a couple weeks ago, that sucked. But there was like Wednesday of the week, I was like, you know what? This has been kind of nice. Nobody's asking me to do anything. Everybody's just like, let's just leave him alone. He's sick. I'm like, I know. It was kind of nice. I'm not gonna lie.
When I got COVID, I look back on it and I was like, man, that might have been one of the best weeks I had in my whole life. So after that, I started walking around licking doorknobs, trying to get it again, and I couldn't get it. And I finally got it on vacation in Port Aransas, and I was miserable. I was like, no, this can't happen.
The 1 week you don't want it to happen, and it happens.
On a deep sea fishing trip in Port Aransas with COVID, feeling like crap and feeling really guilty not telling the captain of the ship, hey, I got COVID. You're all good.
Because you went on one of those big old
Yeah.
You started another
I feel like a bad human.
It was funny though because everybody when I'm
Which
like,
I am a bad human.
you are, but for many other reasons.
Yeah.
The funny thing though is when I got it, I was telling people, I got 90% like, oh, that's still a thing. Like, I know, right? Because that was the first time I've ever gotten it. Anyway,
I just don't think you die from it anymore. But it is a thing.
I'm not even gonna.
I'm hoping to get it again, really soon.
I just don't want it during
after
football.
I want after football.
God, this has
right?
been such a beatdown of a football season for me, and
it's been great for me.
It's one of those things, man.
I like football.
Well, yeah, I do too. It's one of those things that, it's like there's a whole other half of the year. Why can't crap happen then and not right now? But anyway, all right. What we're going to be doing is what we always
called
do.
Karma.
Yes. Wait. What? I got good
All the
karma.
things you've done.
All the good things I've done. All right. So
come back, and it's going to wipe out the things you love to do.
You're still here.
Whoa.
I love you, buddy.
What are you, Coach X?
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's sorry. 2A show doesn't know about Coach X. 2A, if you want to know about Coach X, let us know. Grant and Terry at S2SSport.com. If you want him to start giving his expert opinion.
I think he's got a pick in 2A this week.
He does?
Yeah.
No.
No?
No, I don't have a pick.
Oh, okay. I thought he did a 2A pick.
No, he did 2 4As and a 2 3As. Anyway.
Oh, okay. We're going to have the Stern talking to because I told him to make a 2A pick.
I did 2 last week, and he didn't. He doesn't want to have playoff picks because they're for the record, and he usually loses on that. All right, so here we're going to talk area round, the second round of the 2A football playoffs here this week. We'll start with Division 1. We'll start with Region 1, and we'll start with what might be the game of the week in not only 2A, but maybe 2A, 3A, and 4A, and that is Sunray 11-0 versus Hawley 10-1. Friday at Lubbock's Patriots Stadium. I mean, this almost just seems unfair as a round 2 matchup.
Yeah, it kind of seems like a region.
It really
final,
does,
right?
Yeah.
I mean, the winner of this one, I know post Anson winner will be a tough one, but Sunray Hawley right now, man. Look, Sunray Armando Lujan, a quarterback. We know what he can do. We saw him in person against Panhandle, and then Dawson Bennett, the receiver. The defense for Sunray, the Bobcats, just underrated, right? They're facing a Hawley offense. Look, Hawley's lost one game this year.
2 weeks ago to Stanford, 38-22.
Yeah, and Hawley's quarterback Camden Abels at receiver, Alan Barker at running back. That offense is really humming right now. I know, they did drop that game 2 weeks ago, but I don't put a lot of stock in that. This game right here is going to be a slobber knocker. It's going to be whose defense can step up and stop the running game, really. I think both quarterbacks are going to be able to get their yards, right?
Yeah.
The thing is, I think Lujan is the X factor, not just with his arm, but with his legs and on defense, man. He's a beast on defense. I mean, you've got to account for him. Keegan Abels, that quarterback for Hawley, is going to have to know where Lujan is at all times.
It's funny to say this, though, because and I know Abels has been a little bit beat up, but this is a guy that Keegan Abels is, I think he has 42 total touchdowns or something like that this year, and he gets forgotten about in this game because of Lujan.
Yeah.
And something that
both quarterbacks can move the sticks. That's what's crazy about this game.
I think Sunray wins this game, but I'm telling you, man, this almost feels like the toughest matchup for Sunray in this region, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
And I know Stanford's still there, and I know Panhandle's still there and all that, but still, just as a team that can match up well with Sunray, Hawley feels
Hawley
like it.
and Sunray are so evenly matched.
Yes.
Physicality-wise.
Yes.
That's the thing. Look, I don't think anybody else in Region 1 is going to out physical Sunray and Hawley.
Yeah.
Right? So this game right here could be. It's almost like a state championship game to me.
I mean, it really, it like I said, it's just, it sucks that it's second round. But in saying that, the other district brethren of these two are playing in the bottom half, and that feels like a region final with Stanford and Panhandle, and we'll get to them in a minute. All right, so who do you have, Sunray?
I've got Sunray, but man, this is this is going to be one heck of a game.
This is the game that legends like Armando Luan, this is where you make those. I feel like he's going to have a last minute drive.
Keegan Abels is turning into a legend.
Well, yeah, I mean, he reminds me more of like Jack Dallas legend, where it's just whatever it needs, and not that Luan doesn't do this, but whatever Holly needs Abels to do to win, he does it. If that's run for 100 yards, if it's slow, but I just feel like Sunray is just a little bit better team this year.
Yeah, I do too, man. They're complete.
Yeah.
All right. They'll take on the winner of Post and Anson. Post 11-0, Anson 8-3. This is in Snyder on Thursday?
Yes, great game. Great job. We've talked about it before, but Post this year, Coach John Wright, this is a team, he took over after they had that great run from, 2019 and 2020, I think it was. And then they kind of fell, and they went 2-7 and 1-8 last year. And Coach Wright has turned them around from that, got them to undefeated, winning district 2 weeks ago, beating a very and we talked about this game. We could have talked about every game, but we said, look, that Spearman game's not going to be easy for Post, and it wasn't. And Post was able to survive it. I like them in this matchup, but I think this is going to be another close one.
Yeah, going to be another close one, but I do like Post in this one.
All right, Cisco 7-4 versus Abernathy 8-3. This game is Friday at Colorado City's Wolf Stadium. This is like the game that's kind of forgotten about in this region because of the other ones.
Look at both team schedules. Cisco's played a pretty tough schedule. Abernathy's had a couple of really tough games, but I think Cisco's maybe played a little bit tougher schedule. What do you think?
I'm pulling them up right now. Abernathy dropped down, and I think they started a little bit slower than what people thought they were going to in there. And, they lost their first two. And to be fair, they lost their first two games to Stratford and Sunray.
Yeah.
And then they didn't lose another game till Post, and that was in the district championship game 2 weeks ago, losing 21-13. So, Cisco, their losses on the year are to Clyde, Stanford, Hawley, and Anson. So they both, to me, have really good losses.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird. Neither one of them have what I would call, a playoff win's a playoff win, but neither one of them have what you would call a great win. Their best games are the losses that they've been in, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I like Cisco in a close one here.
Give me
I
Abernathy.
think this is okay. I can
It's
see that
a pick 'em, dude. I don't really feel comfortable about either one of these
This
teams.
might be actually outside of Sunray and Hawley, the best game in Region 1. And they'll take on whoever wins that one will take on the winner of Stanford and Panhandle. This is going to be one heck of a game Thursday over at Patriot Stadium as well in Lubbock. I think the same stadium that Sunray and Hawley are playing in, right?
Yep.
Man, good night. You could go to Lubbock, get a hotel room, and watch two great games, one on Friday and one on Saturday.
Two of the same districts. Both of these, both of these opponents are in the same district in this game. I didn't get to see the Panhandle game.
Braxton Robinson, the quarterback for Panhandle, great quarterback, big quarterback, can beat you with his arms, but also his legs. He just keeps the sticks moving, a lot like Keegan Abels at Hawley. But can Panhandle's defense handle what Stanford's going to throw at him offensively? Look, Christian Duran, dual threat quarterback, Caston Vega, 1,160 some odd yards rushing for Stanford. I like Stanford in this one. I think Stanford up front's a little bit better than that defensive front than Panhandle. I think they might own the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say on both sides of the ball, and maybe not on more than 55% of the plays, because
that's
I was
what
very
decides them.
impressed with what Panhandle did up front against Sunray when we went and saw them a few weeks ago. But I think Stanford's just on another level right now offensively.
Yeah,
so I like Stanford.
Yeah, I like Stanford, and we're at that point of the year where if you win 55% of the snaps, you're going to probably win the game, and it's going to, a close game and all, and it's
given you take care of the football.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. I was just literally about to say, of course, we can never turnovers is always the great, the great curveball
And that
and all
happens.
that.
The playoffs get really goofy after round 1 and 2.
Hey, round
Especially
one, dude.
in the Panhandle.
Yeah, with that wind, yep.
and cold. Oh man,
Start the game off at 70 and it ends at 32 degrees and wind.
And that ball bounces funny out there.
And look, last week and across that Thursday night of games, there was a lot of fourth place teams beating number 1 seeds, and that's why you always at this time of year get the stupid people that post, "Oh, we don't need as many playoff teams." Yeah, well, first off, why would anybody want less playoffs? That makes no sense to me. And last week proves that, the fourth place teams can beat the first place teams, especially like you look at a district where Goldwaith, who destroyed Maud, and Maud was the district winner, but Goldwaith was in a district with Mart and Bremond. It just, anyway, point is, let's go to Region 2. Hamilton 11-0 versus Frankston 8-3, 7 p.m. at Waxahachie Lumpkin Stadium. This is a region that, I'll be honest, nobody is talking about outside of this region, but that doesn't mean there's not some really good matchups inside this region.
No, Hamilton,
I just don't know where they match up against their Region 1 brethren when it comes to that, but we're not there yet. That's 4 more weeks away. So
Well, for Hamilton, offensively, they're as good as anybody, right? Look at their defense is pretty solid. I think they're better than Frankston. I think they come out of this game with a win, and they'll take on the winner of Tioga and Kearns. Who do you think?
I'm going to go with Frankston. I think
wouldn't be a huge upset because Frankston's 3 losses
are pretty solid. And I also I feel like this is one of those, how many times do we see this? And it's nothing against, Hamilton, but where they're at and the athletes, and they're 11-0, but you go, man, they don't really match up. There's no real quality win. And then you got a Frankston team, and they've got 3 losses. They're all the playoff teams. 2 of them are within, 1 score. They can score with anybody. Their problem is defense. And I do agree with you. I think Hamilton's going to score. I just feel like Frankston might pull, I guess this would be a slight upset off. I think they're going to be able to outscore them and win this game. All right, let's go to the next one. Tioga 9-2 versus Kearns 6-5. This is Friday at Royce City ISD Stadium. Give me Tioga in this one.
Yeah, I like Tioga as well. I don't even think this one's actually really
No,
close.
I don't either. I think Tioga wins by a pretty good score.
All right, now a really good game. Axtell and Coleman Friday over in Weatherford. Give me Axtell, man. Their only loss was to Italy 21-7 in like week 2 or 3, I think. Something like that.
Coleman started the year 0-7. And have won 4 in a row, including, I think, the upset of the playoffs of the first round, beating Wolf City, a team that a lot of people felt was, again, in a region where there's
kind of slowed down HD.
Yeah, slowed him down. Right? For them, Coleman has struggled all year defensively, so holding them to 35. But what was surprising was they have found their offense over the last 2 weeks. This is a team that, again, against good teams like Eastland kind of faded late, Mason, Cisco, Collinsville, Hamilton, De Leon, they were scoring less than 23 points. In fact, up until 2 weeks ago, they had not even scored more than 23 points all year. And then all of a sudden now they found their offense against Bangs and Wolf City. I'm going to go with Axtell, but I kind of feel like Coleman's...
I like Axtell big in this one.
You like a big? Okay.
I say big by like
couple
14
touchdowns.
points.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. All right, and they'll take on the winner of Mildred and De Leon. Mildred look undefeated. They got a quarterback. Look, Mildred is the favorite in this game. This is Friday in Burleson. Luke McKendry at quarterback has been just great for Mildred. And he's got 2 really good receivers in Trenton Harris and Ashton Fry. The offense kind of hit and miss against a schedule that hadn't been like killer.
Yeah.
But I think that Mildred offense is one of the best in Region 2. So I like Mildred, and Mildred could be a sneaky favorite in Region 2.
Yeah, I kind of feel like they might be, them. I think next week, if them and Axtell survive, that's
I don't know who I'd pick in that one. I think the winner of that one would have a pretty good leg up in this region.
Yeah.
Right? But I do know Mildred should take care of De Leon this week by a couple touchdowns, I think.
All right, let's go to Region 3. We got Honeygrove 10-1 versus Hearn 5-6. This game's Friday at Trinity Mother Francis Rose Stadium. This is the only one of this region that is a gimme game to me. I think Honeygrove wins pretty easily.
Honeygrove, that defense obviously, has not changed since last year. They're getting healthy on offense.
Yeah, Raylan Morris is
healthy
back
at the right time.
Yep.
Morris, give him, this is the second week he's back. I think he's starting to get 100%. So, yeah, Honeygrove all day long in this one.
Wascom 9-2 versus Garrison 9-2. Friday in Carthage. This game they played earlier this year. I think second week of the year.
First week of the year.
Was it first? Yeah, Wascom won because we were all like, wait a minute, what's wrong with
21-20 by 1
Yes,
point.
and we were like, what's wrong with Garrison? Even though I was like, hey, I keep being told Wascom's pretty good this year. And Garrison beat them 21-20, and then Shelbyville beat Wascom 54-48. Week 3, and then since then Wascom's been rolling. I like Wascom in the rematch.
Yeah, but Garrison's got the 2 Yarboroughs at running back, Antonio and Avery. Can Wascom shut them down? Can they slow them down? Unlike you, I like a game, a team that loses to another good team playing them twice. Right? It's hard to beat them again. I like Wascom. This is on neutral site over in Carthage. So I like Wascom, but it might be just like the last matchup.
Oh, yeah, this is a one-possession game. I think this is going to be a great game.
1 to 7 points.
Yeah, easily.
But I like Wascom as well.
Here's another tasty one. Shelbyville 9-2 versus Beckville 10-1.
Man.
Friday at Nacogdoches Dragons. They have a very underrated playoff stadium that we've been to before. In fact,
That's
we
right.
saw Wascom.
Newton and Wascom.
Newton and Wascom. The only time we ever saw Newton kind of go, hey, we don't want to get hit anymore.
Give me Beckville in this one.
I've been touting the Dragons and
JJ running back. Oof.
This Beckville team just feels different this year. And I think this, again, this other than the Honeygrove game, these other 3 games in this region are all just slobber knockers this week. And I think Beckville wins. I think it's going to be a 35-30 type of game. It's going to be a fun one. And I think Joaquin 7-4 versus Cooper 7-4.
That's right. They'll take on the winner of Shelbyville and Beckville. We both think it'll be Beckville.
Yep.
Give me Joaquin in this one.
Yeah, give me Joaquin. Cooper is just getting to the second round. I think this year with Cooper's, I think shows you where they're at as a program, because this team this year was a big step back from the last couple of years.
But still, they show up. Big step back, but to show up in the second round.
Yep, exactly.
That's how you build a program.
And this is a one-possession game. I think Joaquin wins, but I don't think I think the Bulldogs will. This is another like 35-30 type of game.
Yep. All right, let's go down to Region 4. Marlin versus Schulenburg. Schulenburg, a surprising 8-3. Marlin, what's Marlin?
8-3.
8-3.
Yep.
This is over in Hutto on Friday. Another place just great.
I love that stadium.
Yeah, we saw Liberty Hill and Hutto in a 5 overtime, 55-56.
That was a crazy game.
But look, Marlin is flying so far under the radar. It seems.
Yep. I agree.
At least statewide, right? I think people in Region 4 realize how good Marlin is, but I think they're really kind of flying under the radar statewide. But you look at their dual threat quarterback in Roderick Sweets and running back D'Angelo Wright. The defense is playing well. This Marlin team is going to be a tough out, and I think the Shorthorns are going to be up against it. I think it could be a pretty good game. But give me Marlin by 6 to 7 points.
Yeah, I think Marlin wins by a touchdown as well.
All right, and they'll take on the winner of Mason and Weimer over in Georgetown on Friday. Give me Mason. Mason 10-1, Weimer 7-4. But I think Mason right now is playing on a different level after their loss to Wall earlier in the year.
I think that was week 1 too, wasn't it?
1 or 2, yeah. But they have been flawless since. So, yeah. And then Ganado 10-1, Crawford 3-8 over in Rockdale. Give me Ganado, but Crawford is just good enough to muck this up a little bit.
Just a little bit. I think Ganado wins comfortably. Hey, good season, or not good season, good bounce back from Crawford after where they started.
Yeah.
Man, last year, 2 years ago, 5 years ago, Ganado Crawford in the second round would be unfair. It's weird to see it like this now, but give me Ganado. And they'll play the winner of Refugio 10-0 versus Thorndale 8-3.
And that's a third round game.
Third round game.
Ganado and Refugio.
Yeah, I was going to say it's going to be Refugio. I think they beat Thorndale pretty easily.
Yep.
I forgot to change the sheet. Sorry about that, folks. Y'all just kept looking at the class division. Well, no, actually, it worked out perfect. You know what? We're going to take a break. And when we come back, we're going to do it all again for Class 2A Division 2 right here on the 2A Playoff Show.
Hi, I'm Josh Bell with the Miami Marlins. I wear NeuroGuard to help with strength and coordination when I'm in the weight room and help with balance when I'm on the baseball field.
One of the most comfortable, reduces concussion, increases performance. You can't get a mouthpiece like that on the market.
Not only is it a great product, it's super easy to use. I recommend it for any player, any age, at any level. Thank you guys so much, and go check out NeuroGuard Plus.
NeuroGuard mouthpiece makes it easier to breathe while playing basketball. The unique design is not as bulky as any other mouthpiece and makes you feel safe in concussions.
NeuroGuard. They control my breathing while I'm riding. It stops me getting concussions while I wreck. It's very easy to use, so go pick one up today.
I'm still doing stunts. In the concussions I've got, and I feel much safer with that. I'm doing, like I said, I'm doing a whole lot better in the gym. So NeuroGuard Plus, once this one wears out, you've got a customer for life, because I'm telling you people, NeuroGuard Plus is the way to go, and me, Mark Ash, says so.
Parents, kids, coaches, NeuroGuard. It's the future. Stay tuned.
Hey, that was a good point.
I think we might start seeing some go back.
Okay.
All right, Terry Benny Grant Goodwin back here as we're talking our Christmas party plans. We have an L4 Christmas party we're looking forward to.
You can invite all the listeners.
Yes, every listener, y'all go to
Open bar, so come on.
Yeah, on Brett Lee. Go to Applebee's.
Applebee's.
Out by Whiskey Flats.
I don't think there's an Applebee's in Whiskey Flats, but there's a Glory
fat
Hole. Right?
Yeah.
Is it? And there's supposed to be. Isn't that the old?
That's
legend?
a swinger place. Like, no, it's not a legend. That's fact. That's an old swinger. Cause that and the Tyler, the Apache Drive-In Theater.
No, well, that's gone.
Yeah, well,
that's all I heard.
Well, yeah, it's been gone. So I heard too. I looked it up one day.
Now. How do you know that that's a swinger place?
What? Oh,
Whiskey
whatever,
Flats.
dude. Anyway,
seriously,
we'll talk about it off the air.
No,
all right,
let's
get it. Actually, no. That's just what I was told. I always heard that Whiskey Flats was one of those that was them and the Apache were the two places that you went and did fun stuff.
Fun stuff.
Play tiddlywinks.
Wow.
Let's go to Class 2A Division 2.
Welcome to 2A Division 2 family friendly show.
All right, let's get into.
Your mom's listening to this.
My mom does not listen to 2A football.
I don't think my mom does either. But
that would be really weird if they were
Today
taking
is my
notes.
mom's birthday, by the way.
Wow, my mom's birthday was just the 18th.
Oh, really? Well, happy birthday, Mrs. Bennett.
Happy birthday to Mrs. Goodwin.
Yeah, awesome. I get to go see her Sunday after I rushed back from Poth and East Bernard down in Victoria. Got to drive all the way to Roy City and Rockwall.
Beating
area.
of a drive too.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Anything down to Victoria or Cuero is just.
But it's not a beating since I love my mom.
I meant going down to the game.
Huh?
I meant going down to the game.
Oh, man. I get stuck in Lockhart for some
That's true.
barbecue. So
That is true.
maybe Kreitz this time.
Oh, nice.
And the shoulder clod, some ribs, and sausage.
My mouth's all watery. All right, let's go to Region 1, Class 2A, Division 2. Start us off, Grant.
All right, we're going to start in Region 1, like you said, Groover and Iran. What a great, under the radar, great game.
Yep.
I think everybody in Region 1 knows how good this game is, but statewide, I don't know that anybody's talking about it a lot. Groover 11-0. Really good defense, right? Really, really good defense. They got a pretty good resume. Their wins, they had the big one over, Stanford a month or two ago when everybody showed up at like 8 a.m. to put their quilts out and their blankets out and their seats out on the stadiums. Yeah, I just love that. You don't get that in the 4A, 5A. Stratford, yeah. What did I say, Stanford?
Yeah.
Okay. They're taking on a one-loss Iran team that's sitting here at 10-1. They got a really good quarterback in Prather Sheenan, who has around 2,300 yards passing. Tristan Griffin at running back. Chris Quintero at receiver. Is this Iran defense as good as what Groover's going to throw out there? I don't think so. I do think the Iran offense is pretty underrated. Groover can move the football with the best of them. But I think it's like Groover defense who has, they've given up, 26 points in one game against Stratford.
They gave up 26 to Stratford and 24 to Stinnett, but they scored 56 in that Stinnett game.
After that, they're not giving up more than like 14 points.
Yeah, they've had two shutouts and then held Farwell to 12 and Morton to 6 last week in the playoffs.
Yeah, this is why Groover is one of the best teams in Class 2A Division 2 and one of the favorites to make it all the way to state. So give me Groover in this one. But I think Iran's offense can push that Groover defense just enough, but I think Groover wins this ball game.
Yeah, I think Groover wins it. I think they end up winning it by a couple of touchdowns, but I think it's close for most of the game.
Yeah, and they'll take on the winner of Hell City and Tahoka Friday at Patriot Stadium. Golly, Patriot Stadium got three great games,
matchups
right?
in 2A.
This is at 4 p.m. and then there's a 7:30 kickoff at Patriot Stadium that night. So, man, you take $8 and go to Lubbock and you get two great games on Friday night and then wake up and do a Saturday game at Patriots as well. But Hell City 10-1, Tahoka 9-2. Give me Hell City, but I think this could be close.
Yeah, give me Hell City as well. Ropesville 10-1 versus Farwell 5-6. This game is Sundown Slaughter Field Friday at 7 p.m. Give me Ropes.
I'm going to take Ropes. I was about to call a little bit of an upset, but
yeah, Farwell's played a tough schedule. They've earned that 5-6.
That's why I'm thinking Farwell might not be if you want to call it upset, maybe it's Farwell here over Ropes.
I could see that.
I am taking Ropesville.
I still think at the end of the day, Ropes is better. Farwell, talking about their losses to Post, to Abernathy, to Groover, to Stratford, all playoff teams.
They do.
All playoff teams. Now, you can make the case they haven't been real competitive in most of them, so that's a little bit of a concern.
Right.
I'm still, at the end of the day.
But I don't think Ropesville's going to throw out anything that they haven't seen.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, I think Ropes just a little bit better.
Yeah. It's execution, not athletic.
There you go.
That's right. All right. They'll take on the winner of a 10-1 Winks team who's playing on a 7-3 Stratford team over at Lowry Field in Lubbock on Friday. Wink, that Lane Lusby at quarterback's doing really really good things. And then the Facine kid at running back for Wink. But, what's Wink's defense going to look like against Bryce Braden for Stratford, who can do it all?
Yep.
He's a beast. Who do you like in this one?
I like Stratford in this game. I think it's a one-possession game. I think it's close.
I think I like Stratford as well.
But, yeah, I like the Elks to win this game. You look
if Wink can get past this game, I think Wink is on the cusp of good things. They could even have aspirations for Arlington. I think the winner of this game, if they play well, could potentially win Region 1 and then hang in there with anybody in Region 2 and make it to Arlington. I think this is a huge game, a very underrated game But I'm like you. I like Stratford in this one.
All right, let's go to Region 2. Wellington 9-2 versus Collinsville 10-1. Friday, Iowa Parks Hawks Stadium. This is again, second rounds in 2A. You said it best when we went to the break. Like, man, there are just every region has at least one game that you're like, man, this doesn't feel like it should be a second round game.
Right.
This one kind of feels like that. I like Collinsville in this one. I like their the I'm not going to say they run it way more than they used to because they still throw the ball, but they run it more with a actual physical power set run game than they have in the last few years. And I think nobody kind of talks about the Pirates' defense. Their defense is really, really solid.
Much improved.
Very much improved. Yeah, and they can get physical as well. I mean, their loss was to Munster, and, we'll talk about Munster here in a minute. I think the Skyrockets keep it close, but I like Collinsville in this one.
I'm taking the Rockets in a close one.
I have no problem with
upset. I think Wellington will win this ball game, but I do think it's close. Would not be shocked to see Collinsville win it because let's be honest, Collinsville and Munster, I think, are maybe, and throw in Windthorst and Albany, my gosh, are some of the favorites in this district. I named all but like 2 teams.
Yeah, this region is packed, dude. This region is really packed.
I mean, whoever wins this region is going to be a tough out for Region 1.
Or they're going to be beat up from getting through the region.
It's a gauntlet, right? But, I'm taking Wellington, I guess, in an upset record-wise, but would it really be an upset?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah. And they'll take on the winner of Windthorst and Lindsay.
Yeah, Friday, Boyd Yellow Jacket Stadium. Give me Windthorst, and I think that they'll probably win comfortably. Lindsay's got a great running game, but they can't really throw the ball well when they need to. Windthorst has a defense that's good enough to force Lindsay to have to throw the ball, and I think that's where the game gets decided.
Well, so, like, Windthorst got a really good quarterback in Brock Belcher, about 2,160 yards passing.
And he's the cousin of the Collinsville quarterback from last year, Lando Belcher. Yeah.
Exactly. And a really good defense. But this is not a foregone conclusion that they're going to beat Lindsay because, look, you go back and look at Lindsay's losses. Mm-hmm. They're to Leonard, we saw, really good, right? To Munster and to Collinsville.
Yep.
So, Lindsay, I think they lose this game because of what you just mentioned. Their inability to consistently throw the football.
Yeah.
If you load the box, shut them down, and make them revert, to the passing game, it's game over. And I think Windthorst will be able to do that. And I don't know that Lindsay can shut down Belcher. So, yeah, I like Windthorst, but this could be a good game, sneaky good game, and they'll take on the winner of you think Collinsville, I think Wellington.
All right, Albany 8-2 versus Archer City 8-3. This game is Thursday, Graham Newton Field. Albany's been the big dog in this region, and a lot of people thought they took a step back when they started out the year 0-2, but their 2 losses were to 2A Division I teams. Ever since they've played Division II teams, they've went 8-0, and I think that they win this game, and I think they win this game pretty comfortable.
I think they win it by 14 points.
Yeah.
Archer City's no easy out. You got to remember a few weeks ago, Archer City played a undefeated Electra team
and beat them
and absolutely wore them out.
46 to. Let me check that.
I think it was in the 50s.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. Let me look that up real quick because I remember we were both like.
Well, I've always had a soft spot for Electra.
Yeah,
I've always been
63 to nothing.
63 to nothing. Yeah, so. It's not like Archer City's coming in here shooting blanks, right?
Well, and the crazy thing was Archer City was coming off of 2 losses. They had lost to Windthorst and they lost to Haskell. They hadn't scored in both those games. They only scored 8 and 16. And then ever since that Electra game, they've scored 63, 35, 38, and then last week 51 against the Shamrock. And a lot of people thought the Shamrock, that was a trendy upset pick was Shamrock to beat Archer City, and Archer City ended up throttling them.
It's been a while since I've been able to trust Shamrock. It really has, I don't know. I'm not going to say they're the Borger of Class 2A Division 2, but I don't know. It's been a while since I trusted them deep in the playoffs. All right,
hang on. You brought this up. First off, I've always said Borger has one of their red and the way they use their colors. Great look.
Just like the restaurant there.
Yeah, I do. But we had somebody message my email, Terry at S2S Sport, asking about 4 weeks ago why we didn't talk a lot about Borger. And I'm like, well, okay, have I missed something? And I went and looked, and they lost like 5 in a row. So I responded like, do you really want us to talk about them? I mean,
What did he say?
They never responded back.
Oh. All right. So we both have Albany taking on the winner of Munster and Wheeler. Great game here. Munster's 9-2. Wheeler's 9-2. This is over in Burke Burnett on Friday. Look, Munster comes in this game being one of the most balanced football teams in Region 2, right?
Yep.
I mean, Case and Carney, 2,200 yards passing, 1,080 yards rushing. So a dual threat quarterback in all sense of the word.
With them sitting him in a lot of fourth quarters as well.
Right. Yeah. So his stat line could be a lot larger. Now, Wheeler comes into this with 2 losses, and their 2 losses aren't bad losses. Hell Center, 28-14, and Wellington, 23-14. They're in both games. Right?
Both of these teams' 2 losses are great losses. For Munster, it's 2 3A game teams, Holiday and Pottsboro, which they were in both of those games. For Wheeler, as you said, it's Hell Center and Wellington. I like Munster in this game, but I think this is a sneaky, could be closer than what people think game.
I do too. I like Munster because I like the way, obviously Case and Carney can keep a defense on their heels, but also the physicality of Munster on both sides of the ball up front. That says a lot.
Yep.
I think Munster is built for a state championship run.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. All right, let's go to Region 3. Goldway 7-4 versus Grapeland 8-3. This game is at Waco ISD Stadium.
Oh, the place that won't let you stand up.
They're weird there.
I know. I love the press box, and they're so nice to you. But if you sit in the stands, don't stand up.
It's weird.
It's actually, they'll let you stand up. Just don't stand up if you're down going out to the concourse.
It's weird that half of the people that are there are super nice, and then the other half act like they don't want to be there, and will let you know that they don't want to be there.
Yeah.
It's just it's a weird place.
But the
anyway.
people that do want to be there overshadow all of that.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they treat you really well.
Oh, yeah.
I like Grapeland. I like
do
the
too.
Sandys in this game.
I
I
do
think
too.
this is a sneaky good game over in Waco, but I like Grapeland in this one.
Sneaky good game number 2. I don't know. This is sneaky. Mark 9-2 versus
man.
Overton 9-2. This game is at the venerable Kemp Yellow Jacket Stadium. Do you know
such an odd place for a
Is it
playoff game?
I mean,
right?
I was trying to think about
like if you have Mart and Overton,
but that's
this is a marquee matchup right now.
But this is a game that 10 years ago was in Mesquite. 10 years ago, this game is in Mesquite, and for and a lot of schools now aren't. I don't blame them with travel, and it is. Talking with coaches, it literally has become, we don't want to play in Dallas because it's traffic. You're on a Friday night at 7 p.m. That's going to put you on 6:35 at 5 p.m. And you and I, we avoid the only.
We cuss that at 3 a.m.
Yeah, the only time I ever am on 6:35 is if we're going somewhere.
Yeah,
and it's usually because that's the way we leave the studios. You go, so I avoid 6:35 at all costs. So I think that is part of it, but
I think that's a lot of it.
Kemp, it's hey, you know what? 5 years ago, Kemp was playing in a state semifinal.
Both
it's a good
bases,
stadium,
right?
too. It's a very nice stadium.
Yeah.
What do you think about this game, now?
Mark kind of reeling after, the big loss, 2 weeks ago to finish up district.
This just isn't the same Mart team.
What
period.
was it, Goldway? Just kind of, is it not, though? I mean, what? I don't know the story of that Goldway game.
Yeah, because it was 46-0. That's
right,
weird.
But I don't, I think if Mart and Goldthwaite played in the playoffs, it would not be that, right?
Yeah.
And look, Mart still has Montreal Medlock, D'Angelo Rhodes, really good defense. Overton offensively going to be one of the best teams in Class 3A offensively, at least, with Bryce Still and the receiver Jaden Edwards. I like Mart in this one. I think offensively Overton can move the football on that Mart defense, but I don't know. As long as Mart offensively is healthy all the way across, I don't think that Overton's defense can stop them enough, right?
Yeah,
So,
and honestly, these are the games that teams like Mart win.
Right.
Overton's not there yet. And last year.
Now, if Overton gets through Mart and goes on to play the winner of Grapeland and Goldthwaite, then Overton is ready in my mind.
Well, they beat Grapeland earlier in the year. That's a good point.
But
I just feel like this is a
huge
win
one for this Overton Mustang.
I mean, this
program.
might be the biggest game in the history of the program.
I think so, because I think if they get through this one,
yeah,
I don't think there's anybody they don't match up well with.
Yeah, and last year they got destroyed by Martin in the playoffs, 66-20. So yeah, this is definitely the biggest game in Overton history,
and I think they're poised to be in the discussion to win this game.
Oh yeah, I don't think this is
I think Martin wins it,
stretch.
but I think Overton. I would not be shocked to see them win this. All right, let's go down to Lovelady and Bremond. Lovelady 9-2, Bremond 9-2 as well. This is in Madisonville on Friday. Great place to watch a game. Man, Loveladies losses were to Timpson 50-48 and to Garrison to 28-14.
Good solid losses.
Very solid losses. Bremond, their running back Terrence Scott's just tearing it up. Bremond's got a really good quarterback. Bremond's defense wins this game. I think Bremond wins this football game, but I think it's a very, very good game.
Yeah, I like Bremond in this one, but I think it's a one-possession game easily.
Yeah, me as well. All right, they'll take on the winner of Mount Enterprise and Wortham Friday in Palestine. Give me Mount Enterprise in this one.
Yeah, Mount Enterprise, man, they're a program their losses were 1 point to Overton, and then Lovelady and Grapeland kind of beat them, but they beat Shelbyville earlier in the year, 36-35, and that kind of got
Mount Enterprise might have had the toughest route to the second round of the playoffs, right?
Yes.
When you start from the beginning of the season all the way to where we're at now, they played probably one of the toughest schedules.
Yeah, I agree. Starting now, like a team like Price Carl ended up not being as good as we thought.
But even take Shelbyville that win out.
But I'm saying, but then Shelbyville turned out to be way better than everybody ththought.
Sure.
So it's kind of a great trade-off. I like Mount Enterprise in this one, but I think this is a really close game. People are going to look at the record and go, 8-3 and 8-3. But I will say, as tough as Mount Enterprise's record is, Wortham, Wortham's schedule's been pretty tough too. When you look at who the Bulldogs have lost to this year, losing to Mart, losing to Bremond. That's, 2 of your 3 losses right there. So I think this is 2 evenly matched teams.
I think Mount Enterprise has a little bit more athleticism, though.
I have no problem.
They'll be able to get the ball in the edges in space and actually move the football. I think Wortham, I don't know if they have quite the speed and quickness that Mount Enterprise is going to have.
Now somebody's going to email us and tell us how Wortham's won the last 42 state championships in the 4x100 relay or something.
And I'm going to say I never said that.
Region 4, Somerville 10-1 versus Ben Bolt 8-3. This game is at Palacios Shark Stadium Friday at 7 p.m. Give me Somerville.
Yeah, give me Somerville as well. 10-1. Was it Ian Teague, dual threat quarterback for Somerville? 1,220 yards rushing or passing, 760 yards rushing. Keith Crawford at receiver is closing in on the 1,000-yard mark receiving. So I think Somerville names their score in this one.
All right, next one.
Junction and Falls City. Junction 10-1, Falls City 8-3. This is in Hondo on Friday. Give me Falls City in this one.
Yeah, give me Falls City in this one. I was just going to talk about Falls City.
I saw Falls City and Poth, and Falls City hung around with Poth for a while.
Yeah,
a really good Poth team up in 3A. Falls City's the real deal.
Yeah, their 3 losses are to Three Rivers, Poth, and Shiner.
Yeah.
And they lost to Shiner 21-3 to start district, or I think second week of the district. So give me Falls City in this one.
And they'll take on Somerville, we both think. All right, Shiner 8-3, Bracketville 7-3. This is in Jordanton
Bracketville
on Friday.
names their score. Like maybe 10 or 13. They can name it,
but just because you name it,
yes,
I can call like in horse, right?
Yeah.
The behind the back from doesn't mean I'm going to make
Doesn't
it.
mean you're going to make it.
Shiner is going to name their score while Bracketville calls their score.
Dude,
Shiner is going to thrash.
Dude, everybody was talking about Shiner at the beginning of the year. Oh my God, they're 0-3. This isn't.
Look at who they
Yes,
played.
exactly. Hallettsville, Rice Consolidated, who is a completely different team now than what they used to be, and then Poth, and all of those were competitive games. Hallettsville was a 6-point game. Poth was 21-14. Rice Consolidated, it turned out 23-0, but that was 10-0 for the majority of the game. I watched a lot of that game.
Yeah,
Shiner, no, they're not as good when they had the Brooks brothers. But I'm gonna tell you what, folks,
They're as good up front.
They're not far off from that.
No, they're
This
just
is
missing the two Brooks brothers,
Yes.
but they're so good up front on both sides of the ball that it doesn't matter. And I would not want to play Shiner in the playoffs.
Oh no, exactly, and that's why we both think Shiner's going to win by I say
Yeah.
3 touchdowns.
Yeah, me too. And they'll take on the winner of Lavia and Granger being played in Kennedy on Friday. Give me Granger in this one.
Yeah, give me Granger in this one as well. All right. That's 2A area round in the books. So that's going to do it for us on this week. If you have any questions, thoughts, or comments, you can email the show, grantandterry@s2sport.com. If you watch this show, then you can always listen to it if you can't watch it this week on our podcast site, s2sgrantandterry.com. Or if you listen to the show and you want to check us out, the video, you can find that at youtube.com/@L4media. Everybody, safe travels. Enjoy the football. And until next week, he's Grant, I'm Terry. This is the 2A edition of Sideline to Sideline, brought to you by NeuroGuard Plus, right here on L4 Media.
She's the queen of the hometown fan.